Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to the Fortnite World Cup Finals.
And this is the best of competitive Fortnite.
How does it feel? I know that's a really generic question, man, but you just won $3 million.
This is what it's all about.
The Fortnite World Cup Finals ends right here. The biggest day of their entire lives. 100 players, the battle bus is loaded. It is time. Shots coming in. No elimination yet for the first game victory royale. Oh my gosh.
By that storm, someone's going to be above him.
He's too good.
An elimination onto Skype. He's still holding position. Does have the high ground, but he gets in front of him.
Playing video games.
Yes, Kyle Booga Giersdorf, a 16-year-old from Pennsylvania, won the first ever Fortnite World Cup on Sunday. And get this, he netted $3 million in the process.
Can I bring it up?
That's good.
Wow, it's actually really heavy. Look at this. Yeah,
Set right there.
that's really heavy.
Hey guys, what's up? Jedi here. I'm back making videos after, well, it's been a while, hasn't it? Anyways, I'm back because we got a pretty interesting topic to cover today. Will the Fortnite World Cup ever happen again? Now, if you asked this 2 years ago, the answer would have been a resounding yes. Of course there's going to be another World Cup. In fact, some of you watching right now probably think I'm pretty stupid for asking this question today. I mean, the obvious reason there hasn't been a World Cup since 2019 is the COVID pandemic, which has basically put a stop to all LAN events altogether. But come on, the World Cup's definitely going to be back once it's safe to host in-person events, right? Maybe not. See, Epic Games has been pretty adamant about hosting another World Cup after the success of the first one in 2019. Unfortunately, due to circumstances out of their control, they said on Twitter all the way back in May of last year that they would not be hosting another World Cup in 2020, despite the fact that they wanted to. They also say that we're hopeful to be able to put on some form of Fortnite World Cup in 2021. Well, now we're in the final month of 2021, and that obviously didn't happen, but COVID hasn't exactly become easier either, so we can go ahead and assume that the main reason there wasn't one this year was due to the fact that the virus was still causing problems. And that brings me to the point of this video. In their 2022 competitive update, they mention a bunch of stuff about FNCS duos, divisional tournaments, 2-round cash cups, etc, etc. Now, it's worth noting that the topic of World Cup and LANs are normally mentioned in these types of articles, but not so much in this one. The only thing they say about LANs is that they're reviewing proposals for third-party hosted events. All that's basically saying is, if they approve it, DreamHack and other events like that can happen on LAN again. The part that sticks out to me though is the third-party part. What Epic Games is implying is that they're not really interested in hosting any in-person events themselves this coming year, even if it becomes possible or viable to do so. If this whole COVID thing goes away before the summer of 2022, Epic Games might not be open to hosting their own self-funded World Cup. And if this is true, it means that there may not be a World Cup ever again. I know it all sounds crazy, but I was talking to my friend Levi about this the other day, and it actually kinda makes sense. The biggest question about the World Cup is, why not host it? Sure, it costs over $100 million with the prize pool and all, but Epic makes billions a year, so what's a few hundred million to them? Well, if you're asking this question in a serious tone, there's a reason Donald Mustard owns a billion-dollar company and you don't. Remember, Fortnite is, at the end of the day, a business enterprise. The game exists so that they can make money off of it. This might seem strange to you, but I truly believe that the Fortnite World Cup in 2019 was a business move that yielded a net profit for Epic Games. Sure, the event didn't have sponsors, but the viewership and media attention that the 10 qualifier weeks and the final LAN event managed to pull was huge. I mean, Booga went on to so many shows, and the event as a whole really made Fortnite the biggest mainstream video game for the rest of the year. I think the success of that event really motivated Epic Games to push for another World Cup the following year, but as we now know, that just wasn't gonna happen. But why can't it happen now? Well, I believe a big part of the success that was the first World Cup was the timing. 2018 and 2019 were big years for the game. Towards the spring of 2019 though, the game started to dip just a little bit since people who weren't gamers started to go back to their normal lives. I know a lot of my IRLs who would play on their consoles every night started to get bored of the game in Season 7 and they just lost interest over time. The mainstream media and the non-gamers of the world, or like the US and Massachusetts at least, were drifting away from the game. So what happens at that very crucial moment in time? Well, how about an ultimate event with an insane prize pool that would draw audiences all over the world, like, I don't know, a World Cup? It was a perfect event that pulled Fortnite back into mainstream media before the game could even leave, and that's why it worked so well. People who were getting bored of jumping off the battle bus every day suddenly regained interest because now there was a huge tournament with a big payout. All the streamers, even the casual ones, were playing and talking about it. This ensured that Fortnite would remain a household name for at least the remainder of that year. Now jumping forward to 2020, which if you don't remember was the summer of daily duos. The game was actually pretty healthy at the time, which I think was due to the daily tournaments and the excitement of Chapter 2 Season 2 finally ending after like 6 months. Seriously, that season lasted forever. Anyways, I think a World Cup in 2020 would have definitely worked the way Epic wanted it to. They would have gotten a lot of hype around the game, and a 10-week qualifier would pull so many players. I mean, Unknown would have beamed his way to a qual for sure, but outside of that, the event would have panned out. That's why Epic Games seemed genuinely disappointed when they weren't able to host the event. They had the timing, the means, the player base, and everything would have worked out just fine. But as we now know, World Cup 2020 didn't happen. What about 21? Well, if we look back at this past summer, we would have been in Chapter 2 Season 7. And to be honest guys, the game wasn't in the worst state, but I don't think a World Cup would have been profitable or worth it. Obviously it wasn't viable anyway because of COVID, but I just don't think it could have worked even if we could have hosted one. Love or hate the game, you have to admit that Fortnite has kinda died down just a little bit after Stark Season. The hype around the game has faded, which might have been due to the repetitive trio FNCSs and no map changes. The game has just gotten a little stale. Now, what if we look forward to 2022? Well, I think the reason that Epic didn't hint at any self-funded LAN events is due to one of two things. Either they want to surprise all of us in a few months and announce the World Cup then, or they're hesitant to host another event even if it was logistically possible. While a surprise would be pretty great, I think it's most likely the latter. Epic just isn't sure if they'll want to host another one when the time comes. If they don't mention it now, they can literally just say they were trying to surprise us all along if they do end up wanting to host another World Cup down the line. But honestly guys, don't count on it. Basically, what I'm kind of saying is World Cup 2022 probably isn't happening because it's not going to be profitable for Epic to host an event on that scale because it just wouldn't get the coverage they want out of it. Of course, with Chapter 3 coming really soon, who knows? Maybe they can revitalize the game and bring some attention to it, and if this ends up happening, maybe a large LAN event like the World Cup could seem like a good play from Epic's perspective. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Well, that's it for the video guys. I'm going to be trying to upload a lot more with the new chapter coming out, so hopefully I don't just disappear again. Anyways, leave a like on the video if you liked it, and subscribe to the channel because, like I said, I'm trying to make a comeback and the motivation would be nice. Also, use code JEDI to exit the Fortnite item shop. Thanks guys, and peace.